welcome back to Spread Mix TV. We're at the Amsterdam dance event right now, and this is the great Fedde Le Grand. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Do you have a very busy day ahead, the first day of the Amsterdam dance event?
Yeah, a little bit actually. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning because I had to do a radio show here, like a morning radio show. So I just came from there, and now I think I have interviews for about 2 or 3 hours. Then I hope I can sleep a little bit, and then the night I'm doing some surprise gigs here and there.
That's great. So you've been in the industry for a decade, for over a decade actually. You've had performances and hits over the years. How do you think the industry changed over those years, and what role does social media play in that?
Well, I think there are some things that didn't change that much. I think everything has gotten a lot faster. I think trends come and go faster, and unfortunately that also goes for DJs, because usually with every 2 years or so you have a new style sort of, and then you usually see 5 to 10 DJs coming with that style, but usually only just 1 or 2 survive. So, and I'm not always sure if that's a good thing for the scene, that everything goes by so quick, because I've seen guys that are absolutely amazing, but disappeared within 2 years. So that's what I would like to see in general. Actually, I think also from a promoter side, that they keep supporting artists longer. I think if you support an artist, you should really support it, and not just for a year or something. And I think social media has become very very important. I mean, I think that's part of. No, let me put it in a different way. It's another way to become well known. And I think it's debatable if that's a good or a bad thing. Because in my personal opinion, I think we still talk about music, so that, in my opinion, should be the number one thing. But there are people out there that just do crazy stuff on social media, and sometimes that's enough, sometimes it's not. But so I think it's I think it's very important, but I still think that music is the number one thing.
Sure. And in the context of all of that, how do you feel about youngsters like Martin Garrix taking over the scene now? Is that something you see positively, or is it, I don't know, does it have a negative connotation?
Martin is a little bit the exception, because he's come so far in such a short time. But I think there's so many other young guys as well out there that maybe don't get enough support. So and that's what I mean. They might get a bit of support for like a year, and then everyone leaves them alone, and they're like super talented. So that's what I would like to see. I mean, it's always easy to support the one that has the most hype. That's always easy, but I think it's nice. I mean, I'm not sure how it is in Germany, but especially if I see here in Holland, then and if I compare it to England, for instance, or something, in England you have so many different styles only in dance music, but just coexisting really nice, and if I look at Holland, sometimes it's it's just either this thing or that thing and nothing in between. So it's
Okay. Throughout your whole career, you've had big shows, you've had parties with, I'm sure, drugs and girls and alcohol and all of that. How did you stay actually healthy in the fast DJ life?
In my personal experience, I think there's either 2 ways to do it. Either be very healthy, or just go all out. I mean, so the way I do it is I do party every now and then, because it comes with the job, and it's great fun. But I try to pick my battles a little bit. If I have an early flight the next day, I'll take it easier a little bit more than when I know I have a day off. So
that's good. So you have been in the industry for so long, and you have had your success and your hits and everything. Do you ever think about taking a step back or settling for something else?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, but I think that's something that kind of happens organically. I mean, but the thing is, I just enjoy making music and playing. I just enjoy it a lot still. But especially with my record label or labels, actually, it's cool to look into a lot of youngsters, and that's why I try to support them more and more. And for me, it's all about. I mean, maybe in 2 years there's a music style that I totally don't like, and you know that'll be the day that I'll stop doing this. But as long as I like this, because you know I think I've been kind of fortunate because I've always kind of done what I think is cool, and people sort of always accepted that. I never had to really go with. I mean, of course you get inspired a little bit by it, but yeah, I'm always able to do just weird stuff in between, and everyone's like, oh, okay, that's cool too, you know. So I've been very fortunate, and I think as long as that's the case, I'm just happy. So.
That's great. So you've talked about supporting young DJs and, well, helping them. How can someone who's at home right now thinks he has a talent and he wants you to hear him? How can he reach you?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's a little bit harder now than it used to be, because you know, every other house that there's a DJ living there, more or less. So there's just a lot more guys and girls, of course, out there. But I think the main thing is just, you know, you have to not lose trust. You know, if you send your first track and no one responds, count on that. You know, if you send your tracks for the 10th time and no one responds, just don't get discouraged. Just keep sending it, because a lot of I get about, I don't know, between 300 and 500 promos a day. I do check them all, but I just don't have time to give everyone a personal message, because only within playing, traveling, and running my label, it's already hard to get all the promos in. But and it doesn't mean that you're bad, but I think you have to try to improve yourself. And I mean, the way I did it, I just did, when I just started out, I just did everything myself. I just did my own parties where I booked other artists so they got to know me. Then I got a personal connection. I could send my music to them. I started my own label. There's so much you can do, because of course, the shortcut is always great, when you send your record and, this big DJ likes it and you're famous 3 days later, of course that's amazing. But I think in a lot of cases, if you just work hard and realize that there's a lot more you can do than just make music or just play, it's just, and the simple fact is the more you're out there, the bigger your chances are. It's as simple as that. And one other thing is, just send one track at a time. Don't send 25 tracks. Because almost everyone will be like, oh, okay, this dude has too much time. Just send one, and it's better to send one track every week than send 25 at the same time. So,
thank you so much. This was Fedde Le Grand. Be sure to check out our other videos of the Amsterdam Dance Event and tune back in to Spread Mix TV.